Hello YouTube, my next project. I'm tired of looking at this. I don't need a garden trailer. I was going to make this 4x8, which would have been just in between. If you see that brace, it would have been just in between the axle, and this is 8 foot long. I was going to make this 4x8 garden trailer, okay? I've listed this locally, no one wants it. I do know you can pay over $200 for this axle. These were them little pop-up camper. If it was made out of the square tubing, I wouldn't be chopping it up and recycling it. But I do not like this kind of metal, really. 8 foot long. This is 6 foot and about 4 inches. 6 foot and add another about 4 inches or so. What we're going to do, I think we're going to make a workbench out of it. Those side rails are 8 foot, be 4 foot high or a little shorter. These two pieces would be like the top braces. I don't know if I can flip this one upside down, but it's flat. I can't even tell you yet. This could be a workbench. This could even be like a ledge out in front of your workbench, like you want to lay your tools. Then all this scrap will be used for the bracing. Because I want to keep those one piece, that rail over there. So I can cut exactly in half where I want it. So it'll be taken off there. It has to come off anyway, the way I want to build it. But recycled. We will save the axle. It'll go off in the big shed. I did fix these tires and one's off the rim. They don't match exactly. I think they're the same size. I know the spare is a different size, but it popped off the bead, so we want to check, make sure ain't no dirt, leaves, bugs in it. But they were all fixed, but they're old and weather rotted. You wouldn't want to go down the highway with them, just around the yard. But we'll be saving all this. Recycled. So I think this make a pretty nice bench. Workbench / welding bench for outside. Because I've been sitting down working at my garden trailer. I'd rather be standing up or sitting on like a bar stool or something out in the shade when I'm grinding working. So this is a pretty good piece of metal. It's U-shaped. You'll be able to see it's like a U-shaped, then it's squared shaped. It's really an oddball thing. Like I said, I really can't make nothing else out of this. I thought about, like I said, narrowing this down. That meant doing a lot of work chopping it to narrow it. So the wheels are on the outside, because I was going to put car wheels on it. 13 or 14 inch just for a garden trailer. But, enough yakking about it. Next pictures you'll see is this thing chopped up in little bitty pieces. Or big pieces, I should say. Okay, we cut through all this stuff the best we could. We're going to flip it over. We cut through here. This is going to be a cut that has to be made underneath. Same with this. We cut through here. We cut through this at an angle. We went down in the corner because I think there was a spot weld. Did the same on that side. We're going to get some help and flip this thing over. 4.5 inch grinder with the cutter blades. Be careful. I'm just following along the metal as close as I can. This is not going to be nothing exact. Just going to be making into an old workbench. So cut those two braces loose. They weren't welded all the way around. Angle iron goes this way. It wasn't welded this way. It was just welded here. There's a lot of spots. I mean, there's a lot of spots where there wasn't as much weld. Just slapped together. They really slapped these together when they made these. Wonder I haven't found any cracked welds. This type of metal flexes. Okay, on to the next. Okay, we got this flipped over, so we can cut like that piece. Don't trip here. Cut that one, etc. We're going to save these brackets. We're not going to worry about saving the bolts. We'll probably cut that bolt out of the leaf spring. Then we'll cut that out later. We're not worrying about saving this piece. We don't care. It's just a piece of metal. We want to save the leaf spring. We want to save these pre-made shackles. Same as up there. We don't really care about saving that piece right here. But this oddball shaped piece of metal, see how it's like it's Z-shaped or whatever you'd want to call it. So we don't care about saving this either. If we can, we will. But I doubt it, because you're not going to get a cutter in there, and I'm not getting out my cutting torch. That costs money for gas and oxygen. It's just a piece of metal. So, next thing you'll see is smaller pieces. This will be part one, so I don't want to make it too long. Just wanted to show how I chop this all apart. So, I might not show any more except a big pile of parts when I'm done. Okay, we wanted to show how we take a bolt out we ain't saving it. See how I cut it two ways? This way and this way. This is off the other side. The other one went flying somewhere. So wear goggles, safety gear. And see how that's like that? Then I'll take a hammer and drive it through. See what I mean? Cut it two ways, cut it lengthways. If you try getting here with the cutter blade and cut here, you're going to have a brand new blade. See where it don't matter if I cut that a little bit. Cut it in two ways. Ooh, that's warm. I'm not going to try to pick it up anymore. I think you get what I mean there. It's the same thing on the other side. And you might need a punch, wear gloves, big hammer. That's a 3 pound, 3.5 pound. Gonna do the same thing down there on the other part, but just wanted to show that little clip. I'm not saving the bolts. Okay, another short clip. I don't want to rip the paint up on my shed. He punched a hole in there to put this through here. So this is one solid piece. That's one solid bar. The hitch part's junk, it needs rebuilt, but I will save it if I can get it out of there and save the pieces. I must have been lazy that day that junked it. That I got this from. He missed some brass and stuff. This has a threaded piece on that side of the pipe and then the other side of the pipe. So we're going to get out the pipe wrench. We're going to save everything. I might need a piece of pipe for something, some little legs on the stove. This will just be bracing. Needs just short pieces of junk, just like that piece right there. Because I'll need braces, some kind of Z or X brace on it, on my table / bench. But that jack is shot. I'm not even going to mess with it. I got better things to do. I don't know what the deal is. It's bolted on the top. It looks like maybe it was spot welded on the bottom. This might be welded, but there's bolts to the top and some nice strapping. I needed some of this, and I looked all over. I feel stupid when I do that because here's some nice strap, and here's some thinner stuff that went around the propane tank. This is where your propane tank's at. Now, he said this was a pop-up camper, and maybe it had a heater in it, because there's only one line coming off that where you had 3 ports. Not to make this too long, but just wanted to show the bones of this thing. Somebody may come across one just like this. Back to work. Let's talk more work. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Well, you don't make nothing too structural car frame out of this stuff. See where this weld broke? I cut here and I just wobbled it, barehanded, and cracked it and broke it right where the weld was. Just like trailer. People make car hauling trailer stuff out of an old mobile home trailer house frame. It's really not a good thing to use. See how that just cracked right where the weld was? This is cheap, junky metal. Just like bed frames, you almost got to melt it and puddle it together. But I had a little bit left instead of getting out the cutter. But this is cheap stuff. Don't rely on it to build anything structural. I mean, it's alright for a small trailer, but still, you make a trailer, you better be a better welder than me, probably, because the wrong temperatures, just like angling on bed frames, I've made stuff, little park benches and stuff, but I never make nothing that I'm going to trust my life on. Okay, back to work. Like I said, let's talk more work. Well, I made a pretty good haul. Pretty good batch of metal out of that. Quite a few pieces there. Thanks for watching.